This is the voice of High Servant Mother Doris, founder of I Am Sent Me, builder of the storehouse. We're just going to chime in just for a few seconds. Had something interesting that we just saw through that eyes of the Lord. Stay with us for about a few minutes if you could. And when you come in, this is Mother Doris of I Am Sent Me, builder of I Am Sent Me, or founder of I Am Sent Me, builder of the storehouse. I want to get that right. Just look at this. Normally, when we are doing something, we like to include, this is that Wednesday. So it's like a right out wonderful kind of moment right now. Before you is actually, you can see it. It's a mat. And we've had this mat for quite some time. We had a piece of paper that came from like a calendar that had all of these presidents on it. And pretty much so it began to get worn because we used it and referenced it so much that it was getting worn. And so you really couldn't read it, but we had some copies made. So one day we were out and lo and behold, this is what we found, and we've been using it ever since. As you can see, we've literally done a lot. Probably should have brought the ruler over here. We've brought a lot. You can see a lot of things on here. You can see what each and every one of those, and we're in our cubicle right now, one of our work cubicle, and the lighting, if we put the lighting on, let's see if we get that glare again. Yeah, see that glare is there, so we really would like for you to see it. So we cut that off so we can be able to do this. But listen to this and follow us very well, because we're going to do the math. It looks like we're about to bring you back to square one. And that's what we're about to show you by doing the math, is what we are about to experience. And so just sitting here and into this day, and all of a sudden we're led to come and do the math with the president. All of these are presidents of the United States. Some are long gone and all, but you can see that these are all the presidents, right? You can see that all the way up to right over here. And of course, you can see that the 45th president is not here yet. So when we purchased this mat, it's a food mat, that it didn't have him on there yet. All right, they didn't have the 45th president there yet. All right, so let's do a little bit of math here. It's real quick. We're still kind of like out there in the wind with this. Want to show you something, because it is through this right here that his servant is able to know who the next president is going to be. We're going to find the clip and put it up there so you can see it and all, and then we'll stop right at this moment to say that even though we have a Democrat in the office right now, it's prematurely. So you make sure that you hear that. It's prematurely. And there's this one man, but I'm not certain of his name. His servant is not certain of this one prophet that we heard in the midst of all of those prophets, and some of them were lying because they basically was getting the information from another prophet. And so because they were getting it from another prophet, the prophet did lie. And so, but there was one that the Spirit gave us to really tune in, and he said these words. So we're going to put it on this live right here. He said that he talked about a period where the Democrats it's going to appear as if they went underground. And we want to be able to say to him, if he should see this video, and our path in the Spirit should cross, and if we should find that video where we heard him say that, I believe he was on one of those supernatural programs, and he said that, and we kind of drifted off to sleep, and the Spirit woke us up to hear that and all, and so we know it came through the Spirit. So we want to say to him that he was of the most accurate of all the prophets that his servant has heard. He said one thing that was very accurate that got the attention of the Spirit. So listen to this and walk with us as we do this math. Just a little bit of math here to show you that it's like all of a sudden today, as if the world went back to square one. And all the things that we didn't know, even when we link a video that has all of this in it. When we ministered that, as difficult as it was, I still came. His servant was totally in the blind. We will not act like we knew anything. Everything that came through and on that video that you're going to hear, and we'll link it to here. And very soon we'll put part 2 so you can hear the fullness of that. And remember that it's way back in the year 2003. But anyway, stay with us and we're going to show you something. And hopefully you can see something that we see in the spirit. And hopefully those that really are pursuing a better, bigger, better, brighter future, this will interest you of some kind, some sort. So this has always been the mat that we used. It took the place of that, that little copy that we had that we were using so much. So it took the place of that. So we've been using this and using it moreover. So that being said, you can see that we don't have our ruler right now, so we'll just be pointing. But you can see that this is all the presidents of the United States, where we started out, with George Washington, all the way to number 44. And you can see that the 45th president is not here yet because he had not made office at the time we had received this. And we brought this quite some time during the term of Barack Obama. That's when we found this. It just leaped off the shelves and just saw us, and we had to get it. And it was like a very good, something we could use to demonstrate what we were talking about. And so that's the purpose of this, was to use it for demonstrations. So here we are today, and, we want to say something and hopefully you can hear us in the spirit of truth. We have to minister things not in hate, but we have to minister it in the love of God. And at the same time, we have to stand in proxy for the people of God. And, in doing so, we don't always say things that the itchy ear will hear. And, we don't always say things that, will get people to, jump up and scream and yell and all that, but we do say the things that we hear of the Spirit. So as we were there we go, minding our own business, and we can't be long because it looked like we have a very low battery. But those that love to do the math, so we can show you where we are at right now. And like we will say moreover, that even though we have a Democrat in the office right now, it is prematurely. And that's what makes it very alarming. But you'll hear the video, and in the video, let's do a little bit of walking through this right now. Let's take a moment. And like I said, we're in our cubicle right now, and you saw when we put the light on, it puts a glare on this here, so we really basically have like the best light we can get right now to do what we need to do. But that's all the presidents. All right, and remember right here, this is our 44th president, and the 45th president has not made it there yet. But you can see that is a Republican. Now, when we put the video to this here, just to give you a little bit more light, the video, you will hear a servant talking and coming down. Look, here we'll go. Let's start here. Let's find the 14th president. There he is. See that? The 14th president, which is Franklin Pierce. So that message starts with him because we have to come down through 14 generations. And in that video of that CD that's playing that says, as difficult as it was, I still came, it comes down through the presidents as if the same genealogy of Jesus coming down in the book of Matthew, the same thing like Jesus coming down through 14 generation. So that's where we come up with when we begin to start with the 14th generation. He is the first one we begin to talk about. And then we go to the next 14th generation, which is going to be over here, which is Thomas Woodrow Wilson. And so when you hear the video and the CD that's playing, you're going to understand it a little bit better. All right, so he's 1414. Then when you go to another 14 generation, we use the president to show you how we were walking it out through the Bible, the Bible. So when you see that, what we come up with is William Jefferson Clinton. So they're all on that CD, and we're talking about them. So that's all Democrat. Where is he at? Let's find him again. Number 14. 14, where are you? There he is, Democrat. So Democrat. Okay, where are you at? Democrat. And then here we go again. Where are you at? There he is, Democrat. And you will hear on that CD that it says, Democrat, 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 and how they hurried up and got that Democrat out of there. Now, we didn't know, like we said, we will admit, we did not have any light to that. That was all coming from the Spirit, so we give glory and honor to the Spirit because we knew nothing about anybody as a president. This is just, was that one night in a like a 3-night or whatever like it was. We were doing a meeting at another ministry, and we were going in another direction, and the Lord said, no, you're going in this direction. So everything we received, that what you will hear on that CD came straight from the Spirit. It didn't come from studying or anything like that. It comes straight through the Spirit. And so it says Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. And every time you look up, a Democrat was in the office. And then you hear us talk about how fast they ran the Democrat out of there. We didn't understand that, but the Spirit did. Now, that being said, it goes to say also on that CD that God was doing something in the divine. And it goes and said this was the president right here. It talks about how for the first time in the White House, we see a president, that, God this, God that, God in everything, right? And because it was so much going on, and it talks about how God lie. It talks about the lie, right? And how the divine, that God was in the divine, working through the three, and all, and we used in the category of the 333, and that's where we come from, the 333. Of course, we can't get that far today, but just stay with this, the 333. And so we were saying that with all those threes, how the Lord was working with the divine. Now, where we got the 3 from, come right here. Let's find 14. Let's go back to 14. Stay with us for a few minutes. Now, if you look at 14, we say, you see that 1853. And we said every time that there was a 3, there was a Democrat in the office during the time, listen to this, stay with the timing, during the time of the 14. That was the oneness that was brought them together, was that 3. Okay, so you see the 3 with him was 1853. Then if you go over to Woodrow, you're going to see there's another 3, 1913. All right. And then when you come over here, of course, because of the inauguration and all that, this here, but you see right here, where is he at? You see that here, you see he is 1993. So 1853, 1913, 1993. So that's where the 3s came from, 333. So here now, skip ahead, fast forward, because we have a low battery. This is what really got to his servant today, where we're going to show you that it looks like we're going ahead, but like the Lord gave unto us before, we shared with you about, and we put it out there about the numbers that, what is it? Biden, that's his name, Biden. All right, he has that number when you begin to text him. Now, this was before he became president. To text him, to vote for him, the numbers was started with the 33 and all. And so we'll have to clip that to this right here. So he picks up that 33, and in his his texting to vote, he has that 333 in there. All right. So it looks like we're coming back to the same thing all over again. We just have to find the one post that we did so we can show it to you. But we did the math on that and all, and we kept telling you every time we kept doing the math, it kept coming up with 0, which showed us that things were going to come back to the same thing again and again and again and again. It was like a repeat, but it can't be to repeat itself to do it all, to do the same thing. So then stay with us for a few more minutes, because now you see that if we go, and we'll stay here for a few minutes, we're at 44. So I'm going to show you through the Spirit what was just shown to his servant by doing the math. And the math we did according to the number of the president, each president. So you see that 44, that was a Democrat, right? Because we want to stay with the timings, because the actual Democrat to come in office was at least a couple years or several terms up the road. But prematurely, this one has come in. A Democrat has come in. I can't go through all of this for you to be able to walk it out with me so you could see exactly who was in office at certain times and the timing and things like that. That would be too lengthy, and the battery would probably cut out on us. But there is that 44 right there, that 44, and then there's 45. Well, when 44, we're not there with him right now, we're going to 45. Where does 45 come in? There's a Republican that come in. And if you did the math and you walked with me and we had the time, you would see the rotation of the Republican and the order in which they align themselves in certain years and certain timing and things like that, and all where they literally connect and they literally flow in that order. So you will see here that, you get to see some of them little notes. It says, not a politician and all. And I don't know what we write sometimes. We just be writing it out of the Spirit. But here it is. He's not there. But just imagine the 45th president. So he's 4 and 5. Now, we wouldn't have seen this if we hadn't have saw these two numbers that we're about to show after we talk about this one here for a few minutes. He's 45. So we did the math on him like on January the 9th again. And we told you, we spoke about that number 9 and what that number 9 meant. And so we'll link that to this too. But he's 9. When you do the math, he's number 9. So number 9 is very, very powerful. We talked about that. And so you have number 9. You have 4 and 5. That's 9. But then his vice president was number 48. So if his vice president was 48, now this is if we're doing the math right, if this is correct, because if, I don't know how you pronounce her name, if it's Kamala or Kamala, which way it's pronounced, we'll get it correctly. And all, some say Kamala, some say Kamala. So we'll find out exactly what that is. But when we saw that she was the 49th vice president being sworn in, as I didn't look at the inauguration, it was just some information that was coming through. But the 49th, she's the 49th vice president, if those numbers are correct. Then let's go back here so you catch it. He's 45, so 4 and 5 is 9. I'm going to show you, he didn't go anywhere today. I'm going to show you that it looks like it's going to want to turn back, and we hope that those that have been with us and was with us during the time of Obama being a portal. That's all he was, to get certain people through that portal, and that portal closed. It closed, but we have to link videos here. We don't have the time to do that. We'll have to link all that here so you can see it. And it wasn't a time to get dependent on the government, but it was a time to get free from the government. And hopefully those that see this coming don't return to those days of where we're going to be talking more and more about in that class, just not right now. But here's 4 and 5. His vice president was 48, so 4 and 8 is what? 12. You do the math. When you do the math, you put the 4 and 5, you get the 9. Then you do his vice president, and he is 4 and 8. And so that's 12, right? So you do that together, what do you come up with? You come up with 9 and 12, that's 21. I'm going to show you what you just let go. What do people just let go of? That's 21. That's 21, and we could go further and say, oh, that's 3. No, 21, right? Because we already know that God works in the divine in times like that. Now, we try to pass on to the people that every time you look up, according to the time schedule of the 1414 generation, every time you look up, there was a Democrat in there because of that number 3. And so it would look like, from what we saw, and we said that it might shock you who might be the president. We put that out there before because we saw a 3 pop up, but it's in the middle. It's in the middle. It's already into the term. It's not at the beginning like most of them were. And we know that's also having to do with the changing of the inauguration, goes from day 4 to day 20. So we know all that shift a lot of things as well. But here as well, here's 4 and 5, 4 and 5, and then you have the vice president who is 4 and 8. So that's 12. So that's 21. So that told me right away, the Spirit said, okay, go see who the 21st president was. So, okay, let's journey over here. There he is, 21. 21 is who? He's a Republican. His name is Chester Allen Arthur. There he is. He's number 21. And he is a Republican. Come back over here. So that's 21. So we're not done yet. Now we go real quickly to the president that was inaugurated today. He is number 46. Now, this gonna scare you because he's not there. So let's hold on and just put it all up in here, right here, so we can talk a little bit more. So he's 46. So he's 46, which 4 and 6 is 10. So that looks like a perfect number right there, that 10, right? But those that get within the arm reach and a hug know how those numbers go. That number 10 represents divine order, right? It's all about the divine. So we're still with them number 3s because, 3 represent divine. So, 14 generation. And I look up and then number 3, 3. God was trying to do something in the divine. Well, here we come back again with the divine. Because like we said, if we even left it off with the, doing a 2 and 3, it would look like it's a divine, or 1, 3, where we were with the 2 and 1. That's what it was. It would look like divine because you get 3. So we're right where we need to be. So here we go. He is, the next president would be 46. 4 and 6 is 10. Then the vice president, if the numbers are right, is 49. So, 40. Let me rewind this. 46. He's 46, right? So that looks like 4 and 6. Stay with me for a few minutes because we just got this. So we have to walk it out. We want to have a video that we walk this out. And we did the math, y'all. And so 4, 6. So let me act like I'm going to write 4, 6 down without putting my hand all in the camera. Let's see if we can do this. Let me see if I can turn over a piece of paper here and write out 4, 6. I'm on my cubicle, right? So we have some things we could, got a piece of paper. Let's see if we can use this here. And we're going to put it before you. Try to use 2 hands at one time. It looks like that paper don't want to really give in, but we'll just leave it like that. So we have 46. So it looks like this, 4 and 6. That's what 4 and 6 looks like, right? Do you see it? 4 and 6 looks like that, 4 and 6. So that's our, president right now who was sworn in on today. He's the president of the United States currently. So then here's the vice president. Now, if this is correct, and she is the 49th vice VP, right? You know how if you turn this up, if I really did the 6 like I normally do the 6 and my 9s, normally I do my 6 like this and I make my 9s like that. You know how they make them 9s like that, right? Like 4 to 6, like that, and then 4, and then we curve it like that, right? So what it would look like if you did, like, look at it very closely, it looked like it could be an upside down 6, something upside down. So if I say something upside down, you might get mad, but if I say upside down, we have a 4, 6, and this look like it's a turned around upside down 6, right? So we have to say what we heard, because when most people get within the arm reaching a hug and hear a servant use something, upside down, that means it's jacked up. Just literally jacked up. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. We're saying it very nicely. That's just jacked up, right? So you have here, there you go. Watch us do this math. You have our 10, right? There's the 10, because we want to show you that it didn't go anywhere. It looks like things is coming back the same way again, because we kept coming up with that 0, and we'll link that video from that class to show you, every time it kept coming up with the same thing, and it kept ending up with 0, and nothing came out of it. Promises, broken promise, nothing came out of it. Back to the drawing board, back to where we are right here. So right now we're going to show you how we come back to square one and all. And, we'll pick this up later on and talk about even if this B were, what we talked about in that video. But we'll link it so it makes sense. So here it is. You do the math again, you get 10 here. So what is 4 and 9? That's 13, right? Oh, these numbers look so good. So it looks like we equal that most blessed. Now we know we have to go. So if we cut out on you, we'll come back at another time. But we found this to be quite interesting for MD and this math stuff. So that comes up with that 23. So you're going to be like, oh, there's that most blessed 23 number. And you're absolutely right. There it is. Because we know that the Lord has given us time and time and time and time and time again. But then we got to quickly do the math and get that 5 right there out of it. There is our grace if we really, really needed it. There it is right there, that number 5. But if we go to the 23rd president, because they're premature, the Democrats have come in very prematurely. So let's do it. Go find that. The Spirit said, go find the 23. So, we had to redeem him. We had to redeem him sometime. We'll look for that video too. We had to redeem this one right here. Don't want to mark on it. So let's get rid of this. Oh, good pointer. Let's use this. See this right here? This here, number 23, who we come up with when we do the math with, the president that was inaugurated today and the vice president that was inaugurated, we did their numbers and all. And so that come up with 23. No, we had to redeem that because we saw things that happened during his presidency. All right. That this is what we would love for you to see if we don't get a chance to finish this. See that? That 23 back again brings us back to that 23. And that 23 is a Republican. And you can see that they're on side of him. Remember we told you about this one right here because things are in reverse. See this man right here? He came back. He's the only one, unlike, 44 and unlike, Bush. They did 2 consecutive terms, but he's the only one that, his presidency was broken, and he was president here and came back over here at 24 to be president again, right? Because something happened right here with number 3 that, like we said, we had to go back and we had to redeem 23 because of the corruption and all was getting in the most blessed number. But let's do the math here. You see that every time we did the math, we did it first with 45, and we came up with 21. We went to the 21st president. That was a Republican. We did the math with the new ones that came on board today, and that come with 23. So the Spirit said, go and find 23. That's a Republican. But let's do the math so we can tell you where we're at, what you're getting ready to look at. And that's where you see us putting up his Barack's picture, and then you hear us say that's for a sign. It's for a sign. This is not a portal this time. This is a sign. This is a sign, and all. And so here we go. We have 21. Can you see that? 21, and then 23. You do the math. I'm sure you've done it by now, right? It is two Republican with that Democrat in the middle of it. All right. Still God working in divine, trying to get this thing right, trying to get the line. As difficult as it was, I still didn't know anything about what we were talking about, but then it come through the Spirit so we can know. But here, 21 and 23. You come up with what? Let's do the math. 2 and 2 is what? 4. 1 and 3 is what? 4. Right back to square one. And could it be right here? See that? Right here. This is where all eyes is going to be coming to, right here to this number 44. And like we said, this is the number God is going to be dealing with. This number right here. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk more and more and more about this. And all because many don't understand and don't know. But because of the Spirit, knowing all things, brings us back to something that is like starting all over again. But it's not to do the same thing, again. This is not a history repeating itself. And this is so dangerous right here. This right here is so dangerous. And we have to be careful, even as a colored folk, that they don't allow history to repeat itself. And so we want to stay focused. So we're going to come back and talk about this and all, because all of that we just said led us right back. You saw us do the math, and led us right back to this president right here, which is Barack Obama, number 44. All right. Well, we'll talk again. Our battery is a little low, but we're going to pray for the United States of America and all those that did vote. But when we put all of this together, you understand, those are the ones we really are going to have to pray for, because those that are on the side of the righteous, you're going to be all right. Well, we got to go. We have a low battery. This was the voice of High Servant Mother Doris, founder I am sent me, builder of the storehouse. We just brought you in as we were doing the math. This is how we, for years, have seen into the beyond, to know the different presidents and who would be what, when, where, how, and things like that. And right now we temporarily have a premature entrance of a Democrat in office. So that should be quite interesting in where we're going with this. But we'll talk more until tomorrow. Yeah, that class, we'll talk about that. All right. Have a nice day.